In the whipping, I'm whipping the soul out it. Chin the tone when I'm flexing like Pilates. Why you frontin', you act like you somebody. Keep a trail in the ville, how I go by it. I was stuck in the rut, I was nobody. I've been looking for something to go by it. There's an art to the hustle like yo got it. Kick out a kick back and hit like a new shotty. In the whipping, I'm whipping the soul out it. Chin the tone when I'm
Alright, yo, what is going on, Titan Clan? It is your boy King Titan next year. Back with another video, and this time around I got somebody interesting with me today. Blue Flames, what if? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey yo, what's good? Basically, as Titan said, we're doing a collab. He's a good friend of mine, and I just thought it's time. We introduce ourselves on each of our channels. So yeah. This is what if Deku was Apocalypse, I guess.
Alright, so basically, how did we say that it was going to start out? Like, it would have started out like this. Basically, Apocalypse had been sleeping for 2,000 years, and this time around when he's awakened by his followers, it would have been around the time when All Might and All For One were like in their prime or something along those lines. Basically, like, you have these two powerhouses all around. You just have these two powerhouses right here in the world, and then the followers are like, okay, Apocalypse, it's time to wake up.
And so the followers would, of course, go to his tomb, finding Apocalypse laying there. They would basically do the ritual to wake him up. And as Titan just said, All Might and All For One would be at their prime. So basically, all their fights would be like city destroying shit. So as he wakes up, his soul, which would be transported from his original body, or the body he was in, to another soul. And since his followers don't really have a body at the moment, he would basically be transported to a kid, a newborn kid, which would be Deku. Reason being is because he can't really control his soul, because firstly, he's rusty. It's been 2,000 years since he's woken up, and second of all, it's a soul. I mean, he can't really control that shit.
Another thing that I feel we should mention is, well, this may come off as a bit dark, but Izuku actually did die during childbirth here, which would have made it easier for, well, Apocalypse to actually enter Izuku's body here.
Yup. So
I like that you just
okay, so to clear this up, I know we're like stopping mid video here. We're both going off of the top of our heads. So, when there are pauses, it's just me indicating to Titan that he should start talking, and it's the other way around for Titan as well. So if there's a little pause, don't mind that. It's our fault and our ends. It's just
And your boy also got a cold, so if you guys hear sniffles in the background or something, don't be alarmed. It's nothing serious, just your common cold.
Exactly.
And I know it's gonna be annoying.
But anyways, let's write some good comments for Titan. Get better.
Alright, so like we basically established this. Like after Apocalypse ended up taking over Izuku's body, something weird would have also happened, because of the fact that this is like a newborn child, and the fact that they're quirkless as well. There's literally no sort of power Apocalypse could have gained here. Something interesting would have happened with the body. It would have basically been mutated to fit Apocalypse, but at the same time, because of all of this mutation happening, what would have ended up happening is that, well, Apocalypse would have actually lost his memories, so he wouldn't have necessarily known about his powers either. He wouldn't really know much about anything besides the fact that his name was Apocalypse. And so he would actually go throughout the years just thinking that he's quirkless, but at the same time, well, also believing that his nickname should have been Apocalypse for some reason. He doesn't necessarily know why, but it's just that that he just feels some sort of comfort when it comes down to that name.
Exactly. So, as he just said, his memories are gone. So, as he grows up, when he goes to elementary school, he would basically think, he would be like a normal child, not really like having evil thoughts, just like Apocalypse would have, thinking about world destruction and who would be strongest. What he would think about is having a quirk, being like All Might, everything a kid would, think about, like being a hero and stuff. At this time, he would meet this kid named Bakugo, which was his best friend, until he would of course get his quirk, which would be the explosion quirk. Now after this, Bakugo would become one of the most cockiest kids he ever met. Not only would he bully his classmates, but he would also bully Deku. Deku not really minding this because, well, it feels like this has happened to him before, and Deku has a pretty high tolerance for pain, for some reason. When Bakugo inflicts, for example, pain or an explosion to him, he doesn't really feel it as much as a normal kid would feel it. So yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily feel it. Like, it's sort of like this. It's sort of like how a little toddler would be when it came on to hitting you or something. Yeah, it hurts, but at the same time, it's not the same as like a fully grown person hitting you or something. It would be to that extent when it came on to Izuku, and throughout his life, he would just be wondering when he would ever have a quake, whether it would be possible for him to ever become a hero, even if he was quirkless. Up until, well, Satan Day happened. Simply put, how should I say this? When he ended up getting sort of violated by this sledge villain. Like, sure, most of this happened similar to in canon, up until when he ends up seeing Bakugo in his place. Bakugo actually being trapped within the sludge villain, and noticing that none of the heroes are actually doing anything. And that's when something would just snap in his mind, if you know what I'm saying.
Something would just awake, like a fire, inside of Deku, almost as if, he's gone through this before, countless times. He would look around to see everybody just staring, nobody doing anything. Deku's feet would just start running, seeing that nobody would do anything. How would they not do anything? He would think to himself. Can't they see a boy getting hurt right now? Deku would immediately jump up and smash the sludge villain with enough force to splatter it everywhere. Deku not even knowing what the heck just happened, would just rescue Bakugo, who was passed out at this point. Because do remember, we're gonna say that Deku came in a little late this time around. So this time, Bakugo was passed out. Deku would midair jump up to get Bakugo and lay him on the ground. Deku's eyes full with anger and distrust. I thought heroes were supposed to save people, he would say. What? This isn't the hero. This isn't the society I wanted to be part of. You guys are nothing but fakes, he would say as he walks away.
The heroes would have actually tried to talk to Zuko though. They would have tried to they would basically try and say, "Hey, kid, come back here. We need to talk to you real quick. You just used your quirk in public. Like, we should actually arrest you for that because that's technically illegal. But at the same time, you did rescue that child. Well, we'll let you off with a warning for now." Zuko would just shrug them off and basically call them out, saying, "At least I actually did something back there. At least I was actually able to save somebody. Unlike you guys that were just sitting around just watching a kid die. They're literally just being suffocated by this villain. Literally, this villain using their body to commit evil deeds, and this kid is literally crying out for help. Can you imagine the sort of trauma this kid is going through right now because of what you guys decided to just let happen? You guys started talking about how you guys are heroes, you guys got these licenses, okay, but you guys really don't even deserve them in the first place." Zuko would have just said his piece and just walked away. All Might would have been interested in Zuko up until he heard that. He realized that this kid had a bit of a temper, and at the same time he had mentioned that he was quirkless before, but for some reason he just unleashed like this massive amount of strength. This is like a top tier sort of strength enhancing quirk. Most strength enhancing quirks were like some sort of like double, like some sort of boost, basically to the point where it just multiplies your strength by 2 or 3 times. This kid was like 10 times or something. The kid didn't even look all that buff in the first place, so there was something interesting happening here. Zuko would have just walked home and realized that, wait a minute, he would actually look at his hands and realize that he had just unlocked this quirk. It seemed to be super strength or something along those lines. And at the same time, some flashbacks would start going through his mind as well. Flashbacks of a previous life, you could say.
Previous life where he was a god, almost. Where he had all sorts of abilities. And he wasn't a normal human either. He was something called a mutant. Something that a normal human could not even imagine becoming. He could fly. He could teleport. He could use these beams full of energy. And not only that, he also had super strength. Things that could alter his body. Things that could, how do I explain this? Apocalypse's powers are pretty fucking powerful. I can't lie. Basically, he had energy manipulation, energy absorption. He could make energy out of nothing. And as these memories came flooding back, he also remembered how he was back in his old life. Not everything to the point where he was killing people, but to the point where he remembered how to use these powers.
Alright, so Zuko would actually start to get an idea, just remembering all of this stuff. Just seeing that he was some sort of deity in his past life or something along those lines. Like, he didn't necessarily believe in reincarnation up until now, and he was wondering, is he some sort of reincarnation? If that was the case, did that mean he also had the powers of this past life, or was it something that he had to awaken? If that was the case, he wanted to know how soon he could awaken these powers. Sure, he had unlocked super strength, but he also wanted to know if he could unlock at least that energy manipulation power. He would try his very hardest for the next couple of months, these next 10 months of training for UA in order to unlock these powers. Around this time, he would have actually unlocked, well, energy manipulation. One of the fastest ways he realized he would be able to improve upon himself would be becoming a vigilante for a little while. In the beginning, he would actually be wearing a mask and, well, just any sort of regular getup, just like pajamas or something. Yes, a vigilante running through the streets in their PJs wearing some ski mask or whatever. In the very beginning, that's how it would originally start, but Izuku would have also ended up discovering that he could, well, simply put, control how he looked. He could control his genetic makeup to an extent. All he really knew at the time, though, was that he could control it to where he could look like different people at any time. And so that's what he would actually end up doing for a good amount of time. This would actually make it very, very hard for the police to actually get a lead on their suspect, this new vigilante that was taking over the streets of Japan. And Izuku, throughout this time, he would also be realizing that he actually needs to fix this broken system of heroes, because this whole time, all these heroes are running after him. They're trying to get him, although he's technically doing the job for them. He's technically making their jobs easier. Why are they going after him? He's a vigilante, sure, but why aren't they going after the villain?
Another thing I might want to add here is that Deku didn't kill like other vigilantes. He just hurt them to the point where they would never do something this bad again. So as Titan mentioned, he would be training for the next 10 months. And with this, he would be taking down both heroes and villains. I would say villains more than heroes, because while heroes do take down villains, some of them are bad, and he would do his research on who the good heroes are and who the fake heroes are, you could say, kind of like what Stain did, but he's not as powerful as Stain right now as he is. He would have to use like basically tricks up his sleeve, but as he grows, he's gonna get more stronger. So as the 10 months come along, he's basically gonna get really good with energy manipulation, and he also learns energy absorption, which would allow him to absorb the energy around him. For example, Bakugo's explosion quirk, that which utilizes makes energy come out of it. He could basically absorb it and make it go back, something along those lines. His super strength would also increase to the point where he could make boulders like with just one punch. And with that, I would say 10 months are over, unless you have something to add, Titan.
Not really. Basically, that's pretty much how his 10 months would go. Basically, just trying to make a name for himself in the underworld, and basically the police would have his name all up on the news. He would have wanted posters, all that good stuff, really. But what many people are interested about are the UA entrance exam. Let's get into that. And with that, we would probably end up saying that, well, Izuku would dominate the competition. In the very beginning, he would have just pretty much kept to himself, really. He would have actually kept to himself for the very beginning of the exam. So either wouldn't have really tried to call him out here. Izuku actually gained a bit of confidence, though. He would have actually been relatively cocky with all of his new abilities, and when it came on to, well, the physical part of the exam, that's when things get interesting. Very, very dummy interesting. That's something I'll let Blue Flame explain.
Alright, so basically, of course everybody would go to the examination room where I do believe I forgot the hero's name. Basically, you can utilize sound to break your eardrums. That's all I know about him. He would start explaining how there are 1-pointer, 2-pointer, and 3-pointer robots. He would also explain how there's a 0-pointer, not forgetting about it this time around. And he would tell everybody to just not try to beat it, as you won't be able to beat it. It's there to scare you, and if you see it, run the other way. As I just said, it's meant to like scare you and shit. He's like, with all that, basically, I've explained everything. So everybody would go to their separate arenas. Deku would go to this, basically Arena 1, or I'm gonna call it Arena 1, because like, there's different groups and shit, and I'm not really trying to get into all that. There he would meet Uraka, who this time around would trip, and Deku would catch. Uraka, being kind of shy, would of course thank Deku, and Deku this time around would go immediately to the front of the line, because, well, there's some kind of different aura around Deku for some reason. People can't get their their mind straight on it, but it's different, almost as if they mess with them, they're going to get themselves hurt. So as Deku goes to the front, they would announce the start of the exam, where you would just see a blast of energy, and by the time they look back, Deku's gone. And in this short amount of time, Deku would have already taken down two 1-pointers with just using his energy blasts. Next would come some 2-pointers, where Deku would basically absorb all the energy that is going into the robots. The examiners who are watching this fight are shocked beyond belief. What? How is this possible, they would think. Not only is he utilizing energy, he's also absorbing it? This shouldn't be a thing. What kind of quirk does he have? As they would ask. Sir, it says on the papers that he doesn't utilize the quirk. What? What is he? What is he then? As then we would switch back to Deku. Deku, seeing that there are cameras everywhere and observing this, he would start using what would be his super strength, as he does want to show off a little. Tell them that he's gonna be the new ruler of UA, be the new number 1. Deku would immediately go up to a 3-pointer, and with just one punch would shatter it. And this would keep on going to the point where he would basically like take down half the robots. So like all the other contestants wouldn't really be able to get that many points because of Deku. He would probably be getting like at least 200-300 points by the end of this. This is when Deku would hear a scream from the middle of the arena.
So once Suzuku ended up hearing the scream, he would actually turn around and find that it was the girl that he had, kind of rescued earlier from tripping on herself and embarrassing herself in front of everybody. He would have actually seen her, and although he wasn't really doing it out of like the very much kindness of his heart or anything, he just did it because, why not? He would just go over to the girl and just snatch her up from the rubble, look over to, the giant 0-pointer, realize, oh snap, let me actually try and really make a name for myself, really mark my name down in the history books of UA real quick. He would have actually ended up going over to the 0-pointer and actually ripping it to shreds. It's not necessarily that he would just smash it to smithereens, something amidst of somebody like the Hulk or anything. More like he would actually rip its arms apart, rip its head off. All of these things combined, and the teachers would just be watching the whole time, wondering, what is this kid? But if it's one thing that they knew for sure, he was a shoo-in for UA. Aizawa would just be watching in the corner, realizing that this was going to be a troublesome kid.
And after, Deku would basically rip that thing to shreds. The robot would fall down, making a big crash on the ground. Deku would come down and pick up the rubble from Uraraka. As this time around, Ida wouldn't notice it. I mean, I guess we could, you know what, we'll add in Ida. Ida would come in and, of course, would save Uraraka while Deku would be basically like ripping that thing to shreds. Ida would look over at Deku and kind of smirk at him like he did a good job. And with that would be the end of what would be the entrance exams.
Yeah, so pretty much he gets a letter from UA saying that he passed, a week later, and he would begin his first day at UA. I'm going to be honest, like when it comes on to the interactions, they wouldn't differ too much from canon. And I'm lying through my teeth right now because of the fact that a couple things will be different. Number one, the interaction.
You want to end it here, actually? Just as a cliffhanger on the first day?
You know what?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's actually do it. Yeah, let's go with the audience real quick. Yeah, let's end it there.
Yeah, alright, well, there we have it. This was part 1 of What If Deku was Apocalypse. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It was me and Titan's first collab. A little backstory on how we met, actually. We were I was invited to the Heavenly Sages, and me and him have become like pretty good friends over time. Although I never uploaded.
You uploaded like one time, bro.
I did upload. I did.
And that time was dead now anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been 2 months uploaded.
Exactly, and it's already disbanded anyways. But props to Titan though. He did always upload, which I think was great. You guys could check it out, I guess. Even though it's gone. We have a new channel though, don't we?
Yeah, like even then, like I'm not sure how well that's going to turn out. That's basically going to be like anime and manga reviews and stuff.
Dude, I read a lot of manga, so I might have to join into that one. Like fuck anime. I'm really into manga. Anyways,
alright, bet.
You wanna do your outro?
Alright, so y'all just remember to... Alright, so for this one, since it's a collab, and we're both literally speaking in one video, here's what I'm going to say for this outro. Y'all go check out Blue Flame channel. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description below, alongside his Discord and my Discord as well. And on top of that, you guys already know what to do. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Come on, people. That's basically it.